Hi students, in this video we are going to discuss further about bryophytes. In our last class we have already dealt about bryophytes, where I had classified bryophytes into two main subtypes, that is liverworts as well as the mosses. See here, in last class we have studied about bryophytes, and these bryophytes were further classified into their subtypes. One was called as the liverworts, and the other one they were called as the mosses. Now when we say liverworts, these are the bryophytes which are dorsiventrally flat. Okay, so both the upper surface and the lower surface, it is flat in case of the liverworts, but in case of mosses it is not like that. Okay, see here, in liverworts the structure is like this, both on the dorsal side and on the ventral side they are flattened, so they are attached to the soil. Okay, but in case of mosses they are not like that. In case of mosses, you can see these bryophytes or these mosses, they are like this. See here, so this is the mosses, this is the structure of the mosses. Now what are the examples of our liverworts? Example of liverworts is Riccia. You have Riccia. Then one more example is Marchantia, and one more example also you have, that is called as Anthoceros. Here you can take an example of Funaria. Funaria is the example. Then one more example is Sphagnum. One more example is Sphagnum, which is also called as peat moss. See here, which is also called as the peat moss. So I told you bryophytes, they will be easily classified into liverworts and mosses based on their structure or based on their appearance. Okay, these are flat, so they are called as liverworts. So these are not flat, these are upright, or they are straight, so they are called as mosses. Okay, now when we come for reproduction, okay, reproduction can take place by vegetative method. Now what is this vegetative method? As you can see here, in these plants, this particular part you can see, which is showing this dichotomous branching. You can see a branching here. So this region is highly meristematic. It contains meristematic cells. So what happens here, if these parts get cut, okay, that can be developing into a new liverworts, or sometimes there is a formation of tuber-like structures, bulbous tuber-like structure. At that time, these tuber will give rise to a new plant. So this is about vegetative reproduction. However, this is not included in your syllabus, so I am not going to explain about that. Okay. Now we are discussing, or we are interested in the sexual reproduction of this particular bryophytes. So what is this sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction is of oogamous type. Oogamous type. Now what is this oogamous type? Oogamous type means always what? The female gamete will be non-motile. See here, this is the female gamete and this is the male gamete. So the male gamete is motile here, whereas the female gamete is a non-motile. Such a kind of the sexual reproduction, that is called as the oogamous type. Okay, so this is one thing. Now the thallus, or the plant what we have here, that is called as the gametophyte. It is called as the gametophyte. Either it may be liverworts or it may be mosses. The plant what is green in color, what you can see, that is called as the gametophyte. Why it is called gametophyte? That is very important. Phyte refers to plant. Okay, gameto refers to gamete. So these plant or these structures what we have here, they are in turn going to produce gametes. Gamete. Yes or no? They are going to produce gametes. So that is called as gametophyte. Later on, these gametes will fuse to form, sporophyte and spores and all those things. Okay. But this structure or this green color photosynthesis structure in case of bryophyte, that is producing gamete. So it is called as gametophyte. I hope this is very much clear to you all. Okay. Now the gametophyte what we have here, that is going to produce two kinds of gamete. What is that? Male gamete and female gamete. And here I have to explain two terms. One is called monoecious, and other term is dioecious. What is this monoecious and dioecious? See here, if both male gamete as well as the female gamete, is produced by the same plant or by the same thallus, then it is called as monoecious. Okay, and if there are separate plant, that is, if one kind of plant that is producing male gamete, and if the other plant is going to produce the female gamete, then it is called as dioecious. That is, what I mean to say is, if for example, if this plant, what you can see here, if it has both sex organs, that is, if it has both male sex organ as well as the female sex organ, then it is going to produce what? Male gametes and female gametes. Then it is called as monoecious. But if there are two different plants, for instance, let us take this diagram here. So if there are two plants, if this is producing the male one and this is producing the female gamete, then it is called as a dioecious plant. So this is important. Okay. Now, what will happen? Ultimately, there should be the formation of the gametes. Okay. Now there are many species in the bryophytes, even in case of the liverworts, what we say. Okay. That is Riccia, Marchantia, Anthoceros, and all those things. Okay. Now Riccia, they are going to produce this male and female gamete, or they are going to produce the male, that is, they are going to have the male sex organs and the female sex organ embedded in their body itself. It means the structure is flat. Okay, the bryophyte, they are dorsiventrally flattened, but in case of Marchantia, it is not like that. Things are flattened, plant is appearing flattened, but what happens is there is a long stalk like structure. Okay, and above that, sex organs are formed, and that is called as what? Antheridia, if it is a male one, and some plants produce a kind of the structure like this, this is called as archegonia. See, archegonia. Okay, in case of Marchantia, what will happen? There are separate thallus which produce male and female gametes. So the male plant is going to produce a structure, a long structure, that is called as antheridia, and the female thallus, it is going to produce something called as archegonia. Now this stalk, what we have here, that is called as antheridiophore. See here, antheridiophore, and this stalk, that is called as archegoniophore. See here, it is called as archegoniophore. So it is clearly shown in your NCERT textbook. See here, this is NCERT textbook. Now this is the thallus of the Marchantia. This is also the thallus of the Marchantia. This is the dioecious type. So this thallus, what is there, that is going to produce the female gamete here, that is female sex organ is here, which is called as archegonia. So this part is archegonia, and this stalk, that is called as archegoniophore. Okay, and here this is another thallus of the Marchantia. So this is the male sex organ, or this is going to produce the male sex gametes, male gametes, and this structure, what you have, that is called as antheridiophore, and this is called as antheridia. Okay, so this is regarding our what is that? Marchantia. Now what will happen ultimately? So I am not going to explain you in detail about what happens in antheridia and what happens in archegonia. However, it is important for NEET students, if you really require extra explanation on these particular structures and what happens and what not, etc., which is important for NEET, please write me in the comments so that I can explain you in a better way. Okay, so this is one thing. And the second thing here, what I want to stress here is, after the antheridia produces the sperm cells or antherozoids, antherozoites, these archegonia, they are going to produce egg or ovum, whatever you call here. Okay, now what will happen, as these plants, they require, or they are grown in, or they are found in what, highly rich water content. They are found only in water. So what happens, these antherozoites, during the rainy seasons or at the time of the rain, they are going to come into the water, and however they are going to reach into archegonia. Okay, so here inside the archegonia, the structure is somewhat like this, and there are here cells which are called as neck canal cells, ventral canal cells, and all those things are there. Now ultimately here is the egg, so this will get disintegrated. The gametes or antherozoites which are produced by the antheridia, they are going, see here, this is antheridia. Okay, they are going through this and they are going to fuse here. Okay, and after fusion what will happen, so this is N, this is also N, it becomes a 2N. Now this 2N structure, that is called as zygote. See here, that is called as the zygote. Okay, now zygote will divide and divide and divide further to form something called as sporophyte. See here, I'll take a new paper. Okay, now see here, this zygote what we have, that is going to divide and redivide and produce something called as sporophyte. Now sporophyte means what? The zygote, what it has fused, so this is in 2N conditions, it is undergoing repeated division to form a sporophyte, but again it is being attached to this particular gametophyte. It is there inside this gametophyte only. Okay, so there is foot, this is seta, and this is capsule. So they are encircled. So this is capsule. Okay. Okay, so this is foot, seta, capsule. This is the three parts of the sporophyte. So as I am discussing only about NCERT, that is 11th standard biology, I have not gone in details with the NEET aspect and all those things. If you want, you can comment me in the comment box so that I can understand what are your needs. This is one thing, and this is how later what will happen. This will undergo continuous division, and ultimately what will form? Spores are formed. Then again in the next rainy season, these spores will germinate to form gametophyte. Again, like these kinds of plants are available. Again they will produce this antheridia, archegonia, and like this again they are going to produce the antherozoites, egg. Again fusion will take place, zygote is formed. Again this zygote will undergo several division, spore is formed. So this is a cyclic process. So this is how it occurs. Okay, now sexual reproduction in case of bryophytes is important as your PUC syllabus is concerned. Along with that, okay, these bryophytes also undergo one more kind of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction. I did not tell you at the beginning. Why? Because I didn't want you all to confuse you all. So what happens here is, in case of Erixia, no, the asexual reproduction not that pronounced, but in case of Marchantia again, see, you have a thallus like this. Imagine that this is a thallus. On the thallus itself, you have some round structures like this. Okay, round circular structure like this, and inside them you have small, again, club shaped structures, and this round structures what you have, they are called as gemma cup. Gemma cup also it is called, gemma cup also it is called. Now what will happen, these gemma cup have, I already told you that they have something clubbed shaped structures like this. Now when these gemma cups or these club shaped structures come out of this, these structures can develop into a new plant. So that is again by the asexual reproduction. Okay, so this is what is there in bryophytes. This completes bryophyte. Students, if you liked my video, please do share this with your friends. Please comment also and like the video. Thank you.